go. Thank you. Thank you. You had me at mute. Wow. Hello, everyone, and welcome. I feel so honored, Dr. Fazal. Again, Rizwan, love you so much. You have given me this honor to speak in front of the world. Through hello to my friends in Pakistan and Bangladesh and US, Dubai, obviously here my followers in Canada and the United States and South America, and the list goes on. So thank you. Nazal, you talked about being a leader, and so it's so pertaining to what I'm going to talk about today is being a leader. But you were always not a leader, correct? Like I wasn't always a leader, and this is something that we develop, as you mentioned it on your talk. I'm going to talk a little bit about dream to become a leader. And I've mentioned my story many times, but for the ones that don't know me, I am Lizy. The host and one of the producers, because now we have a little team of the Lizy show right here in Toronto, Canada. And as Dr. Fazal alluded, over 59 countries had been following me. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about this dream before I became a leader. My dream as a little girl was to become a TV host and interviewer and podcaster, and to be in front of the television. Now, think about, I was like 6, 7 years old, and I was with this huge dream. And if you think about your 4, 5, 6, 7-year-old, when you were, if you close your eyes, it probably will take you, to that place, when you're playing trucks and you wanted to become a firefighter, right? Or an astronaut, or go to the moon, or be a doctor, right? And did anybody follow those dreams? Did anybody did anything about it? Some of us did, and some of us didn't. And that was my case. I didn't. Although I wanted to become this journalism and be on TV and interview people, not because I wanted the spotlight. Just wanted to make that clear. Not because I wanted the spotlight. It's because I wanted to know people, help people, get the news out there. I remember when I was young, very, very young, and I used to my parents used to have like an anniversary, and we had not a lot of means. I used to create plays, and I used to go and interview my parents for Mother's Day. By the way, in Canada and the United States, I think we're celebrating Mother's Day tomorrow. So huge hello to my precious mother, my best friend. So happy Mother's Day for all the Mother's Days in the world that are celebrating. And so I used to do role plays, and then after the show was done, I used to pick up a little stick. I actually had a stick with me, and I don't know where I put it because I've been doing this talk for so long. And I used to go, "Hi, Mom. How was your day? How is it like to be a mom? What do you think about this?" And I used to do that to my dad, to my brothers, and my sister, and my friends used to hate me. Because I was always on people's faces, always, bothering them with questions, what do you think the weather is going to be like today? That kind of stuff, little kid stuff. But if you think about it, little kid stuff, it becomes sometimes a reality, a dream, and you become, like he said, a leader. And time went by, and life went on, and things happen in everybody's life, including mine. And guess what happened? My dream just faded away. I didn't pursue it. But you know what? Sometimes when you have that dream in your heart, that important thing that is itching inside of your soul and itching inside of your heart doesn't let you go, even though you put it on the back burner. Even though you put it in a place that you don't want people to see, it bothers you. Something is missing. Your creativity is not there. And I suggest to any of you that even though you have a full-time job, even though you are working, try to always go back to that little boy or that little girl's dream. One day, and this is going back now 7 years almost, I was reading to I have 2 young girls, and that's my why over there. This is my home studio, by the way. Those are my why. This is why I do this. This is why I want to be a leader. This is why I want to tell you that dreams are important. I want to tell my little girls that dreams are important. And I was reading to my little girls a book that is very, very known here in Canada or even the United States, The Little Train That Can. And you could do anything. You can't climb the mountain. And I stopped reading the book. Do you know why? I stopped reading the book because it brought me back to my 5-6-year-old dreaming to become a journalist, dreaming to find out the news, dreaming to know people. And you know what? I stopped reading the book and I went to the bathroom and I cried. And I didn't know why I was crying. I was crying because I knew something was missing in my life. I knew that something, that my creativity, my creative side wasn't there anymore. I mean, I was okay financially. I have what I needed to survive, to make ends meet, but that dream, that creativity, that leadership wasn't there anymore. And then I thought about it. You know what? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna start a radio show. So what if it doesn't work? Isn't it interesting that you already, as a limited mind, he was talking about Napoleon Hill, one of my favorite books, right? We already put ourselves in limited beliefs. And I did it. I researched. I did not go to school in journalism. I researched, what does it take to be on a radio? What does it take to do it? And I researched. I went, my best friend, Google, and I find out how to open a line and how to create and how to get mics and how to get all that good stuff. And I did it thinking that it wasn't gonna work. However, the reason I did it is to prove to my girls that even though that you have that dream, it doesn't work, at least you tried it. At least you just did it. To my surprise, I started doing Sunday night, by the way. Sunday night, I figured nobody's gonna listen nowhere, right? I'm already sabotaging myself. Nobody's gonna listen, nobody's gonna pay attention. My style, as you can see here, the theme of the show is tell me who you are, what you do, contact info, anything new. And I can take credit for that. Is Logan, is my husband. He came up with that because I always ask those questions anyways. So he said it was a perfect fit for me. And I asked this question. I did it for about six months or so. Every night I figured nobody will listen. One day I got an email from a lady in the UK, author, coach, writer, entrepreneur, the works. I'm still friends with her. And she said, Lizy, I love your style. And I'm thinking, what style? I love what you do. And I'm thinking, what do I do? I'm going to Canada. I'm going to promote my brand new book. And I want you to interview me. And I want you to be there with me. And I want you to, and I want. And I'm thinking, wow, that's cool. You know, this is a once in a lifetime. It's probably not going to happen again. So she asked me, do you have PayPal? Now, this is 7 years ago, guys. I had no background in marketing. I mean, I've done lots of stuff now. And so I Googled, what is PayPal? Like, believe it, like, really. So I find out what PayPal is. And I said, yes, I do now. Didn't say that to her. So she says, how much do you charge? And I gave her X. And I'm thinking, I'm going to charge something really expensive so that way she was, you know, so she wouldn't pay, or I'm just going to, again, limiting beliefs, thinking that this is not going to work, right? And I did, and she said, this is perfect. She sent me the payment. I'm thinking, OMG. So the rest is history, everyone. The rest is history. I've been doing radio online for since really 5 years is when I actually registered my company, which is called JNL. PPR Productions and more and PR. And I've been doing this because I'm receiving income. I had to, in Canada, it's a good idea to register as a company, as a PR company. And I've been getting income. So obviously it's a good idea to register for government income tax purposes. My accountant is unbelievably surprised with everything that I've been doing. And one of the things that I have to share with you is, number one, that little dream that you had when you were a little boy, little girl, it could be your next career. It could be your job. It could be your next entrepreneurship. It could be that next great thing that would take you out of that monotonous, or out of that rat race that you're doing that is not satisfying you. And again, you could do it on the side. You don't have to quit your job. You don't have to do this all at once. So how did I do it? How did I become the celebrity here in Canada? I'm going to give you 5 tips that really, really worked with me and that really made me big. Again, we talked about number 1 is being the dream, and follow it and go with it. Even if you fail, try something different, try something else. Maybe it's not that way. Maybe you can perfect. And I'm the type that listen to my podcast and watch to my videos all the time because I know I have to improve. We all do, right? We all have to. We have a growth, right? Nobody knows everything. I always tell my little girls, Mommy doesn't know everything, and I'm gonna ask for it. I'm gonna ask for a question. I'm gonna ask. So ask people. Ask people. Now, by the way, the podcast, my radio is not just there. I have a YouTube channel, and last year with the pandemic, I started my very first. It's been a year. My very first IGTV show. Now, some of you may know or may not know what IGTV is. So Instagram is becoming so huge in places like India and South America, because the applications and the internet, it is so we in Canada and the United States are very privileged, right? So we have in those places in South America with the internet difficulties. IGTV, Instagram Live, has become the greatest thing from another platform for me to interview and to develop and to promote people around the world. And that is something that I kind of stomped on, and I said, hey, another platform, why not? So I was going to give you 5 tips before I ran out of time. What I started to do at the beginning, other than from my very first client, giveaways. And there's 2 giveaways. One is somebody who has no means of paying for my services, work out a deal. Sometimes we exchange, so partnerships. You give me this, I give you that, and you promote me this, well, I'll promote you that way. So those are great to start to create your clientele, to create your circle, to create your network, to create your peeps, the people that will follow you, that like that you do. And a lot of people not gonna like Lizy T, and I'm okay, and not everybody, and Lizy T's not gonna like everyone. So just keep that in mind. Just do your thing and get your own circle of people that identify with you. So giveaways. Now, the other giveaway that I like to give is partnership with my guests. And so my guest is going to come to my show, and I'm going to ask him, by the way, I'm going to be doing a draw when you are on my show. Do you have a service or product that you would like to give away on my show? And that's another way of creating a circuit to your clients, your people. So we got 2, your own, right? Your own services, and somebody else's service that could come to your circle and give something away that they were offering. Number 2 is out at the places in the world. And I know I'm in Canada, so I should just speak English or Francais. But I realized that the world is a lot bigger, and I am very fortunate to be able to speak other languages. So I can speak a bit French and Spanish and Portuguese and Italian. So I thought, why do I have to concentrate myself here in Canada? Why do I have to concentrate myself in just speaking English? I speak other languages. I can target, and right now, as a matter of fact, I've been collaborating. That's another word, right? Collaboration. I'm collaborating with a team in South America and Argentina. I am not from Argentina, but I do speak the language. And so I'm partnership with them. They're having a singing contest, and I was able to sponsor them, and I was able to get sponsors. And the singing person that will win, as a matter of fact, tomorrow is the battle, right? The two people were selected, and it's the battle. Huge exposure for them, huge exposure for me, and that's how I achieve all those followers. So don't concentrate yourself in one area. Remember, we are right now on the internet. The whole world is on the palm of our arm via the internet, via a cellular, a cell phone, via a tablet. So expand your mind and reach people that you don't think that you're ever going to reach, because you do, especially nowadays, especially in these times. Especially with COVID, especially with lockdown, our internet and social media and the internet is our best friend. And the other thing is to try to sell your services. I have my website. My prices on my website are very, very different than when I started to use other places on the internet that sell your product for a lot less, service or product for a lot less than your regular website. So to get, again, a bigger circle, to get a client, try to use places like Gigabucks and Fiverr, and there is many other places that you can actually get clients or sell your services that way. How am I doing for time? Good. I got a timer and a clock here. The third thing that I would like to give you is a book. Write your story. I know a book doesn't mean a lot for a lot of people. Maybe you said, well, Lizy, I don't have a huge story. I'm just a normal person. Your life is special. Your life, what you've gone through, is unique. No one has ever gone through what you have gone through. And I can guarantee you there is some special something about you that someone else will probably can learn, will probably be able to utilize, and will probably be able to learn from you. I am very honored that I was able to publish my book, which it gives me a credibility. And this book is called The Greener Side: My Life and Lessons of Journey of Foreign Happiness. Basically, this is my story about how my family came to Canada, all the trials that we had to come to this country, trials that I went through, abuse that I went through before I was a leader, before I became this known podcaster. So a book doesn't have to be a huge book, doesn't have to be, hundreds of pages, just a little biography to give you credibility and to give people, something that it's tangible. So that's another suggestion, is with time, and this book's only been published for just a year now, so it hasn't been that long. The other thing that I recommend is products. People love to receive something that it identifies them of being on your circle. So I either sell or like to give away my Lizy tea mug. It's just basically in Bangladesh. I love the places that are a lot less expensive than Canada. So I can order a box of this from from India, from China for a lot less cost. So you guys are a huge advantage. So products, purses, bags, and mugs for me, I use it all the time. It identifies my my customers with me, and it just gives them that a little bit of distinguished person that I am serious on what I'm doing. So products is book and product is something that you might want to consider. I do have Dr. Fazell, I do have 40 minutes. I just wanted to make sure. I can't hear you, sweetheart.
You still have 10 more minutes too.
Okay, thank you so much. 10 more minutes. I appreciate that. And I got my timer with 10 more minutes, because I really think that is not polite to go over people's time. I appreciate you. The last thing that I recommend, once you know what you're doing, once you know who your perfect client, your perfect target is, then create a service or a product. So in my case, I created a coaching service for people that would like to be a Lizy or a podcaster or a TV personality in your own country or in your own place. So I created several packages. You can see it on lizy.com, so people can sign up. I can coach them. So I became from a dreamer to a doer to a leader. And that's by using all of those methods. And I'm telling you, this is not something that I completely had figured out all at once. It came within 5 years, and it came, and I embraced it. As soon as new things came, and as soon as something came to my way, I didn't say, no, I can't do it. This is impossible. Who am I? A Latina immigrant from South America? No, if I could do it, so can you. If I'm able to have clients and speak to people, very important people all over the world, so can you. If I was able to get my book published with my story, which is just my life, just my biography, so can you. So I want you to think about all my examples, and maybe you can utilize one or two, or maybe you can use none, but just to give you the idea. But the most important thing is follow your dream. Follow your dream, because every time your dream, when you were that child, is what you should have done from get-go. And I know life comes, and work and commitments and children's and all that. Find your why. My why are my girls. Find your why. And I'm very fortunate too. I have a very supportive husband, which really, really makes sure that I do everything that I set out to do. And coaches. I now have hired coaches to help me out with getting into the next level, because it comes to a time that you become a little bit too comfortable and a little bit too cocky and think, wow, I can do everything. But there is always a next level. So once you are in the level that I am, I want to go higher. And then I hire somebody who can push me to that little higher step that I wasn't there. I wasn't thinking about it before. And Rizwan, a very good friend, and introducing me to you guys to tell my story, it is that next step. But next, you guys are going to hear from another awesome person that is on the screen right now, Mr. Sugar Ray. But I want to thank you guys so much for listening, for getting my ideas and listening to my story. And hopefully I was able to encourage you, or to give you little tips or a little inspiration. And the theme is, if I can do it, so can you. Thank you.